I had my shotgun microphone plugged into the Zoom. I don't know if you know this guy, this YouTube guy named Skull, but with one L.
Yeah. He's in our Discord. Like
all right. So he sent me like a DM or whatever here on Discord. But while I was sick, I mean, he didn't know that obviously, but
right.
Asking me if I'd record like some voiceover for
cool.
like a voiceover intro for his show, but where like the style of the voiceover is like what I would do for my show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the intro to like a launch video or something, you know?
Yeah. Like
and,
like a radio announcer type voice.
If
like a narration.
if you say so, yeah, sure. Yeah. And anyway, I couldn't do it right away because he literally messaged me when I had COVID again. Not, you know, he had no idea. But I finally got around to doing it like the day before yesterday. So I had to have the shotgun, you know, I used the shotgun microphone for that, you know.
Right.
It's got more of that promo-y sound to it.
Yeah.
But then I realized.
That's what you get for $1,000.
You know, you don't need to start talking about prices on the show. That's vulgar. And in my defense, yes, that's what it cost, but it came with a free Zoom H6. So beat that.
Oh, dude.
That's a very good deal. Yeah. It was either from B&H or Autorama. I can't remember which one. But yeah, it was a Zoom H6.
I mean,
the Sennheiser with the Zoom H6.
Was $1,000.
Yeah, which is normally the price of the microphone. So it was like, here, have a free Zoom H6, which is like
$400.
Yeah, it's a screaming deal.
Yeah.
Who's going to say no to that? Anyway.
Nobody.
But that was the first time I've had that microphone plugged in quite some time. And I realized while I'm doing this, that's like the first time I've like read off of it, like done VO reading off of a script in like a year and a half. So
Did it feel good?
That's pretty bad. Yeah, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny. You kind of forget how to do it a little bit. Like I had to do a little bit of EQ adjustment because I was, you know, now I'm used to talking into this microphone where, you know, you kind of eat the microphone a little bit more. Whereas with the shotgun, you want to back off a little bit. And so it was like way too much bass. So, but I mean,
that's cool that you're doing that.
Turned out good.
It always surprises me that he's like he's like a really active member of our Discord.
Oh, that's cool.
And I mean, his channel is way bigger than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always neat.
Yeah.
To see that.
For sure. Yeah. What else? This is, you know, apropos of nothing, but, yesterday, my wife and I drove to Reno. I don't know if you're familiar with, the
littlest big city in the world.
Yeah. I don't know if, I don't know where that
there's a REM song called All the Way to Reno, where it says driving all the way to Reno. You're going to be a star. Oh, does that song come right after that Rockville song? Like, don't go back to Rockville, drive to Reno instead. Yeah, that's right. It's the biggest little city in the world. There's nothing I only
little
know that
about
because of the Wizard.
Oh, right. Yes. There's nothing little about Reno anymore, I got to say.
Yeah. It's just like a little Vegas.
Expanding hugely. Well, I've never been to Vegas, so I can't compare the two. And, you know, Vegas is out like in the middle of the desert, and Reno is more in the high desert. But, you know, I don't know. Whenever I think of Reno, I always think of... What's that?
There's an REM song called High Desert also.
Oh, wow, this is just an REM reference kind of day, I guess. What was I going to say? I mean, I always think of, with Reno, I always think of just where the casinos are, you know, and I was just like, oh, that's like, you know, they got that little crappy area with all the casino, you know, or whatever. But Reno is actually a pretty nice, like outside of that, like I used to have to go to Reno pretty regularly for my old job. I'd go to a lab at the university there, University of Nevada at Reno, UNR, and it was a real nice school. And we went over there to go to a store that's in like downtown Reno, but we just wanted to get off of the freeway as soon as we can, or as soon as we could, because yesterday was like crazy driver day. But so we kind of got off the freeway on the outskirts of town. My wife looked up on her phone like a way to get to where we were going, kind of going this other way. And unbeknownst to us, we ended up driving through the neighborhood in Reno, which is where I guess all of the like obscenely filthy rich people live. Like I drove past mansions that I don't know if I've ever seen something like that in person. And I don't mean like new, like McMansions. I mean, like really old, humongous,
the real deal,
gorgeous homes with like, 8 luxury cars parked out front. I was just like,
wow.
I didn't know Reno had that. It's like, I would expect to see that in like Vegas, but it's hard because I'm trying to drive and I'm just like rubbernecking the whole time. You're just like, wow, wow.
You should have parked and walked around.
I mean, it was like on a busy street. I don't know. It was a weird, I don't know. I mean, I got my fill, but the reason I brought it up is just whenever we go over there, I get this exact same thing where, so for anybody that doesn't know, like, I live in the Sacramento area in Northern California. Sacramento is on I-80, which is an interstate that goes all the way from like Oakland to like Maryland. Like it goes coast to coast, literally I-80.
Right.
And so if you get on 80 in Sacramento, you go straight over the Sierra Nevada mountain range and you drop down the other side, boom, Reno's right there. So it's just exactly on the other side of the Sierra Nevadas from us. So
how long of a drive is that?
It's like 2.5 hours.
Oh, dude,
but it's
great.
a really nice drive because that's the point I was trying to bring up is it's like this really nice drive because you're going
through mountains and stuff.
Yeah, you go up to the foothills. It's all oak trees, and you go up even higher. And now it's all like pine trees and whatnot on our side.
Yeah,
and then as you kind of get over the peak or whatever, and you come down the other side, it turns more into like this high desert, and it's just it. So like Nevada's side of the Sierra Nevadas just looks like, at least in my memory, exactly like the world or whatever inside of like Red Dead Redemption. And so whenever I drove over there, I'm like, man, I want to go home and play some RDR.
Yeah,
just because it puts you in the, because it's the same type of place too, right? This was the Wild West. So I didn't. But the other thing
you should go camping. You ever go camping?
Like for me, camping would be like going to Reno and staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, I don't know, I just think this is kind of a weird thing, but so when you drive over there, like the high point, on 80 of the Sierra Nevada, whatever, is Donner Summit, right? And you drive through Donner Pass and you go over Donner Summit. You drive past the Donner Rest Stop. Mm-hmm. And that's named after the Donner Party, which I don't know if you, or for anybody else out there, just know the Donner Party was this group of like settlers, if you want to call it, or pioneers, like back in the Oregon Trail, like wagon train kind of days, who, were trying to come to Northern California from, to be honest, I don't know where. And they made it all the way to the Sierra Nevadas and then got caught in a snowstorm and got trapped and ended up having to like eat each other. Like not kill each other, but I'm saying if somebody died, they're like, okay, well, we got to eat this person just to not, so that we don't starve to death, So, I mean, I'm saying it's a very horrific situation. And so like on one hand, you're like, well, it's good that these people didn't just get completely forgotten, Right. Like you go up there, there's like a statue.
But they're remembered for awful
Well, it's just like you go up there.
Awful circumstances.
Well, because every time I drive by there and I see like, oh, Donner Pass, it's like that's the first thing I think of is, oh, it's that horrible situation that those people had to live through for the ones that survived, which was not most of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of a downer,
That is kind of a downer.
But at the same time,
what is the movie? Is it Ghostbusters or is it where they say like Donner Party of 5 or something like that? Maybe that's a reference.
It has to be, right? That's not nobody.
Yeah. Is it Ghostbusters? I don't know if it's Ghostbusters. I don't know what movie that is. I'm sure someone will respond to
somebody
in the comments of this. Yeah, but I can't remember what it's from, and I can't look that.
Yeah,
we don't look up.
We don't look things up, but
nope.
I was very excited. This is the kind of stuff at my age that gets me excited. The main reason we went over there, I mean, part of it was just to go on a day trip. We went to other places, but like what precipitated this journey in the first place was there's a Patagonia outlet store in Reno. Do you know Patagonia? Because I know you don't know.
Yeah, like the jackets and stuff.
Yeah, they sell all kinds of clothes. But the thing with Patagonia is all like, because their stuff's pretty expensive, but all of it has like a lifetime warranty or lifetime satisfaction guarantee. So like if you buy a rain jacket from Patagonia, if you choose, that can be the last rain jacket you ever buy. Because when it gets worn out, you just take it back. Or if you're not near a Patagonia, you can just mail it to them and just be like, yeah, this is worn out. I need a new one. and they just hand you a new one.
Yeah, I mean sometimes they come with a free Zoom H6 in the pocket.
That would be great, although I already have one. But so anyway, I had I just had like a pile of stuff saved up, because like I wear like Patagonia like box.
You just like saved up that you're like, I'm going to bring this all back and swap it for new ones.
Because I wear Patagonia boxer briefs, best underwear going in my opinion, and I've tried, something
better than the Duluth Trading Company, which is like my current favorites.
Oh, well, if you like I don't know what their whole deal is. Like I have several pairs of Duluth Trading Company. I like Patagonia far better. Okay. And it was, and so I've been wearing them for a while, and because their underwear is not cheap. It's like $35 for like, although, I mean, it's not like Duluth is that much cheaper. And so I just saved them. I had like 3 pairs that were kind of worn out, and I just walk into the store and I just show them, hey, I got 3 pairs of underwear here that are, all used up. And the guy just points to a bin behind him. He's like, I'm not going to touch that, but just throw them in that bin right there and just go.
Dude, that bin's got to stink.
Well, I mean, what I brought was clean. I can't speak for anybody else.
And I'm with it. They pull a lever and it goes and like
I would
drops them all into a furnace.
Yeah, an incinerator. Yeah,
and they have somebody like down there, like
But yeah, he's just like, just go pick out whatever. Just take 3 new pairs. And I brought like a rain jacket where the liner was coming apart. He's like, oh yeah, just grab another one. And but then that's I found because it's an outlet store, so there's like the regular part, and then the back is like, oh, here's all the sale stuff. And I found I found 3 more pairs of Patagonia boxer briefs. And so I came home. I'm driving home from Reno with 6 new pairs of underwear, in the back of the car, and I can't even tell you how excited I was. That's what at my age, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have my twig and berries softly cradled by that Patagonia underwear.
You came home and put them all on, like over top of each other.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
6 pairs at once.
Right, like Joey on Friends with Chandler's clothes.
And you're like, this is the life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's that. I don't know what else I got going on. I brought. I didn't bring this up last time. You remember we talked about this, ad infinitum. But a downside of me getting rid of my TV was that I didn't really have a decent display to play like PS4 on, for example. And I got
so
kind of a little.
Landed on?
Well, I haven't. Like I haven't plugged I hadn't plugged my PS4 in for a while, and I just got kind of a hair up my butt, that I wanted to play some PS4.
Yeah,
and I had I have it again now, but a while back, like several years ago, I bought like this, I don't know, maybe like 35-inch computer monitor, like a Samsung 35-inch computer monitor for editing the show. With a computer that I don't use anymore. So I ended up getting an iMac at some point, like one of those big iMacs that of course has a screen built in. So I didn't need that big monitor anymore. And so I just took it to work. But I decided and we have way too many monitors at work. So I'm like, I'm going to bring mine home and I'll just use something else. So I got that set up down here. Mm-hmm. And I mean, 35, I know some people will be like, how can you play on a screen that small? If you're sitting right in front of it, like a 35-inch screen is fine. And
dude,
so I got what?
Like that's not small at all.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. But so I got my PS4 hooked up down here.
What are you playing on it though?
I played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Remake because I never.
Oh, nice.
Because I got that. I think there was one month where it was like one of the games that was free on PS Plus or whatever.
Oh, was it?
And so I had downloaded it, but I never really played it. So I played that.
I wonder why you're
bit.
Playing that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but although actually the main reason that I hooked this all back up is because I bought a copy of LA Noire.
Oh, okay.
For the same reason though, because
I've told you I'm in that game, right?
I don't think so.
No, so when I lived in New York, I went to the Rockstar headquarters and recorded a voice on people on the street voices in that game.
So at some point you're saying I'm going to walk around like on the street.
There's so many.
Well, I'm going to keep my
names in there, but like my name is in the credits.
Oh, that's awesome.
For it.
You get like a Screen Actors Guild card for that or anything, or that'd be cool.
No. It was like, I don't even know how. It might have been something I saw on Craigslist or something.
Oh, wow.
And I responded to it and said, oh, I want to do that. And that was So that was before LA Noire came out, before GTA 5, obviously, but also like right after Red Dead Redemption came out. So it was cool being able to go to the Rockstar New York or whatever they're called, like their offices. And the person who was doing the recording sessions that like directed me was that like, I think it's like that Laszlo guy. He was like the I don't know. He's like the
DJ.
I think
the radio
yeah,
DJ
he's like
in the game.
the DJ on like in GTA.
Yeah.
But he's like their like sound designer guy. Or
I would have just thought that was like a voice actor or something.
No. As far as I know, but I mean like that's like he is that person, I think.
That's very cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean I was in there as it took me like 45 minutes or something and just read a bunch of these, and I don't know, it was neat. I was like in a real recording booth.
Yeah,
and all this
I would love to do that
other stuff. But it's a good game. Did you get the complete edition? I mean, obviously, if you got the PS4 version, then that's the complete edition. Because when it first came out, they added all these cases and stuff as DLC.
It's just weird because I don't remember why, but when that game came out, because that game came out on like, what was it, Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
And I had an Xbox 360, and I remember when that game was coming out, and I was like, oh, that game looks really cool. Mm-hmm. And I think I must have read a review somewhere that just made me end up not getting it. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it wasn't Rockstar, like they didn't develop it internally, like it was being developed by like this Team Bondi or whatever, and then Rockstar bought it.
Yeah.
And then like funded like the rest of the development and helped out and everything.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's the kind of thing that would have been up my alley, you know?
Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's pretty good. If I may make a recommendation, that I think that I like really enjoyed it playing one case a night.
Oh, okay.
Think
like
of
play
it,
a case and then
it's
just
kind of
shut
episodic.
It off. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure. No, that's
and you
that's a
play
good,
one case a night, and they're not too long.
Good tip.
And you kind of get a little bit of a overarching storyline peppered in.
Yeah.
But you can, if you play it like that, then it's almost like watching like a TV show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I was kind of wanting to play it partially. I mean, I want to play it because I think if I play the game first, I'll enjoy the action button video more whenever it comes out.
Right.
But, and this is part of the reason I'm surprised I didn't get it to begin with. But, because like he said something in the Cyberpunk 2077 video about open world games versus games that have an open world in them.
Right.
And it kind of reminded me of like, you know that game Mafia? I mean, now there's a few Mafias, right? But I got Mafia like right when it came out for the PC. And that's kind of how I felt, or at least looking back on it now. It's like that game is in an open world, but it's really not an open world game.
But
it's
that's
just
not
like
the point of it.
The open world is just how you get from like, scene to scene or whatever. You know, or, it's basically like using it. It's like the world map in Super Mario Brothers 3 or something. It's just like, you got to drive over here to do something. But it's like if you just cruise around the city, there's not really anything to do or interact with, to the extent that there is with a Grand Theft Auto game. So
yeah, but I mean, early on, like you just go from mission to mission, and that triggers a whole thing. Like that's a pretty general like structure for open world games. Although you get something like Zelda, where there's all this stuff that you can just do, whether or not you're strong enough for it or not.
Yeah,
you just kind of like exist in this world, which is really cool.
But I think the GTA games were like that too. Like you didn't have to be doing anything to advance the storyline or whatever. Like you could just be cruising around, go deliver some pizzas, or just do whatever you want to just sort of interact in that open world.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Mafia, the first Mafia, I've played a little bit of Mafia 2, but not enough to have a formed opinion on it. Yeah.
I wonder if you ever play Burnout Paradise? Like that's open world, but you're just kind of going from.
Yeah. See, that was, for me, that was like, I
race.
didn't play that game because I felt like the fact that it was open world was kind of a turnoff to me. Just because, here's my thing. Burnout, if I was going to make a list of my top games of all time, like all time, Burnout 3 Takedown would be pretty high on the list.
Right.
I'm not saying top 5 all time, but way up there.
But it's
like that game's a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's just really fun to play.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I like the format. You know, if they just made another Burnout exactly like Burnout 3, but just in a, different environments, different cars, I would have been all over it. But when you're like, oh, it's like an open world game now. I was like, why? You know?
Yeah.
That being said, I haven't played the game. Maybe it's awesome. I don't know.
I mean, I like Burnout Paradise. But I do like the more structured feeling of the originals, earlier ones better.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing with open world stuff is that I lose a lot of interest in stuff like this, like the games that Ubisoft comes out with, because it's just, here's a map and there's like a billion icons with like everything, you can go to any of these things and do something. And it's like not always very compelling. But one of the reasons I like Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is that you have this world and there's like not any icons on it, and you fill it in with icons as you discover stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is really, really cool in terms of, just the, and this is just me coming off this high of spending 105 hours to finally finish Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought was just incredible. Where I just felt compelled to do more, because I don't know where they said it, but I think the idea was that wherever you're standing in that game, you should be able to look around and find 3 different things to do or discover.
Wow. Yeah.
And like, that's what's really cool about it, is that it really feels like you're just discovering this world for the first time. And there's all these secrets that, you're the first person setting foot in them in thousands of years. Wow. And nobody else knows they're there. And it's not marked on the map. So you feel like you've discovered this, it's a feeling unlike anything else. And I know that you said you had Breath of the Wild. I think that you should, if you feel the urge to try it, I think that you would be kind of amazed. Just the feeling that it gives you of like a sense of discovery, of trying to find this stuff, and it made me feel like a kid on the playground. Like I went in not knowing anything, and I didn't watch any trailers. It's outside of like the title reveal trailer.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're on the playground figuring out stuff. And I was only talking to people who were doing the same thing as me, or just they were playing it for the first time without any like knowledge of anything else. So that's what's kind of fun. It's like, oh, I found this thing in this part of the map. You should go check it out. Or how did you do this? And then like, oh, I took a while to figure it out, but here's how I did it. And that's what's kind of cool about it also, especially with Tears of the Kingdom. It's not like this as much in Breath of the Wild, but it gives you these tools to achieve certain goals, but there's no like real wrong way to do it. You just have the tools to do it, and it's not going to say, oh, you did this incorrectly. It's whatever you did to make it happen is fine. Because you have this power to like stick like basically any object in the game together and build things out of it. And, sometimes you're like taking like random things and building bridges out of it, or stairs, or just like ramps to get up into, it gives you the tools to break the game, and they don't tell you that you shouldn't try to break the game.
Yeah.
They just let you go. And I also heard that, they finished the game a year ago, and they spent an entire year just like making sure that everything worked.
Oh, wow.
And was like as open as they wanted it to be. So they spent like a year just making sure that there was no real limits on what you could do. Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have bought Breath of the Wild if I didn't think I was going to like it. It's not why I'm not playing it. I just don't feel like I have limited amounts of time to play games. Yeah. I mentioned that, I want to play LA Noire. I'm balls deep in Famicom baseball games over here, because now that's turning into a whole thing. The other thing I was going to mention, because I mentioned last time, I think, that I was gonna do this. I forgot if it was if we were still recording or not. But I bought Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII for PSP.
Yeah.
So I'd started playing that as well, which was really interesting because I'd never played that before. Or I never played it, watched gameplay. I really didn't know anything about the game. I think I was just sort of going when it came out. I think I was still feeling like a sort of like I know that it's not cool to say this or whatever, but I really love Final Fantasy VII. Right? I know like all the Final Fantasy hipsters want to mention how much that game sucks or whatever, but
really,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
I
it's
think they're crazy.
When you say like when someone says, oh, I saw this movie, and you go, oh, the book was much better. It's like for a long time, if you said anything good about Final Fantasy VII, somebody had to bring up Final Fantasy VI. Oh, how could you make that after Final Fantasy VI? Which of course we called 3 back then. I think
whatever. Like
they're
all
now
awesome, really.
People. Oh yes, absolutely. But so I think for me, because of how much I love Final Fantasy VII, it was like, please don't change it, don't remaster it, don't make little like side, like leave it alone. Like I love that game just the way it is. That was my attitude for a long time. Like if I want to play Final Fantasy VII, I'll play Final Fantasy VII again, which I've done many times. Yes. But so I finally got to a point where I kind of stopped feeling that way. And so that's why I decided I'm going to check out this Crisis Core, mostly because I just wanted a PSP game to play.
Yeah.
Sorry,
that's a good one. It's very episodic in nature.
Yeah.
So did you start playing it?
Yeah, I know it came out. I know what you're going to say. I know it came out on the PS4. Whatever. I want to play
No.
I want to play the original.
Say that
Yeah, I'm a decent chunk of the way because it's a very short game. So I'm already a decent chunk of the way through the game. The only thing I was going to say I was just going to say like, playing that and playing Final Fantasy VII Remake at the same time is interesting because you can see where a lot of the gameplay in Final Fantasy VII Remake is very similar. Like I think that it comes from Crisis Core.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, I think, when I was playing through Crisis Core, which I enjoyed when I played it on the PSP, and I thought this new version was good. And this is coming from someone who, I think it's an unpopular opinion to have enjoyed Advent Children, the movie Advent Children.
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a sequel. It's pretty good. I think
you're saying it's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
like 10 years after or something like that.
Did you watch it on UMD?
No.
Oh, all right. No. That's probably the best way to.
But I do have it on Blu-ray.
Okay, that's like the opposite of UMD.
Yeah. But I think when I was playing Crisis Core Reunion, the new version, it made me realize that I think that this is true for a lot of things. This is true for especially with like Star Wars, and one of the reasons why I don't really care for it as much anymore is that we just like have too much information. I think it's better when I don't know like why Sephiroth is the way he is. Like I just need the information, like that mystery. And when they've like explained every little facet of like his personality and stuff, it's like I don't even care. And so if you're playing Crisis Core, it's just like that one guy Genesis in there just like talks incessantly, and you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
And it feels like it cheapens like the motivations and world of that is so clearly described and was generated in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Like we just know everything about every single character.
Yeah.
Now that it's just like I don't care why it is like I just want the information that pertain to like that main story, and that's all I need. It's just too detailed now.
Yeah, I mean I agree with that. Just like I don't think I ever played Final Fantasy VII and thought like I want to know more of the plot that is sort of outside the bounds of the game. Like I need more information. Like because it's one thing. Like I feel like in Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth is sort of this very, mysterious but like hugely powerful like epic bad guy.
Yeah.
And then you play Crisis Core and he's just like, one of the guys or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's no more, it's not fun, I think, to hear about.
I mean, it's almost that's a pretty good parallel would be with like Star Wars, where, seeing
Every
Darth
character
Vader
has
before he's Darth Vader, and he's like, oh, he's just this mediocre actor that's having a age inappropriate relationship with Natalie Portman. It's like, well, I liked him better when he was mysterious and, wearing a mask and sounded like, had the James Earl Jones voice.
Yes.
I enjoyed, I know we're not talking about Star Wars, but I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I didn't enjoy the prequel trilogy, but.
I mean, I guess I enjoy it. Yeah. I enjoy the prequels, but it's like one or two times was plenty enough for me to watch that. Yeah.
I just feel we
talked about that before.
The original, 3 Star Wars movies is like going out and getting like a ribeye steak and a baked potato, or whatever. And the prequel trilogy is like ordering like boneless hot wings before you get your steak.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but who doesn't like boneless hot wings?
Like them.
But yeah,
they were at an age to watch them as they came out.
Yeah.
I guess where they had not watched the other ones so much.
That makes sense.
They enjoy the mystery reveal.
Yeah.
I guess, even though there's not much of a mystery reveal.
Yeah. Anyway, we've talked about that all before. Just the last thing I was going to say about the whole, what I was already talking about is, I think I'm going to mod not even mod, like I'm going to do the jailbreak thing to my PSP.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you jailbroke you modded your, or hacked
my PSTV. Yes. But I didn't really do that because, I really want to play games on my PSTV. It's more about like, now I have this, really nice way to record gameplay footage of like PSP and PS Vita games, like if I wanted to read maybe a newer magazine, for example, that had PSP games in it, or like, sometimes like in that PlayStation 1995 video where I wanted to be able to say like, this franchise went on to release, installments on consoles X, Y, and Z, and I want to show some gameplay footage. I can think of plenty of reasons of why I might want some, PSP footage or whatever. But, if I'm going to play the games, I'd rather just play on my Vita or play on my PSP.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to jailbreak my Vita. I'd rather just leave it alone. And
for the handheld one, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why it's worth doing it for the TV, because it's just like this little thing, and it only improves it because it has that stupid bilinear filter over the whole screen.
Yeah.
Like that's forced.
But I mean, because for me, the main thing I was kind of getting into with the PS TV is like, now I can play PSP ISOs. But then I forgot the guy's name. There's some guy who makes these videos on YouTube that goes over how to jailbreak like the PS TV and the PSP, and it does a very good job.
Is it you're talking about Mr. Mario 2011? He's the one that I recommend.
No, but he's cool too.
Yeah,
I found some other guy, but I've also watched plenty of his videos. But anyway, I watched the video on how to jailbreak your PSP, and it's just like stupid easy.
Yes,
like I'm not saying the PS TV was easy, but it was also time consuming. Like to get everything set up on there, it just takes a while. You want to install a bunch of different stuff, and like it's worth the time, but just like the PSP is like not even 5 minutes.
You just put something on the SD card and you run it, and it's like done.
Yeah. And or not even that, you just plug your PSP into your computer with the USB port. But because plus I already have, like for my PSP, I have like a 2 gig card, I have a 4 gig card. Yeah. So because I know you can buy the Memory Stick Pro Duo micro SD adapter things, but I don't even need that. Like I don't even want to like set up my PSP. I don't want to put emulators on there. I don't need to have some fat memory card with like a buttload of games on it. I just want to be able to download a game, stick it on the card, and then just work on, like I'm playing Crisis Core right now. Like when I finish Crisis Core, I want to be able to just throw some game on the memory card and just work on that.
Right.
So
and it's good. What happened with me with my 2000 is that my UMD drive stopped working because it's a mechanical drive, and it's not like you can replace it. It might be tough to fix, or something. And if you can avoid having to use it, then that's all the better.
Yeah. So
and I had bought a lot of stuff from the PSN store that I just had on the memory stick, and those memory sticks, like the Memory Pro Duo, like they don't make them anymore, and they only went up to a certain size.
Yeah.
So I got one of the
little
adapters, and I just put everything I bought on the store on there, and then what I usually do is I just put every retail release that I have bought personally. I just put them on there.
Yeah.
And I'll put other stuff on there if it's something that I need specifically to capture footage from or something.
Yeah. I mean, my reasoning for not wanting to have more than one game on there is just like, I think oftentimes then you just spend more time staring at my game selection and not, I just want to be able to easily say, oh, I want to play, E7 or whatever, and just be able to just throw it on there. So I did end up buying though, that Popula Croix, I don't, how do you say that? Popula something.
Popula Croix.
I don't know, man. All I know is when I was growing up, we used to have this pizza place called Popolo's. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Every time we would get a coupon, me and my mom and, now he's my stepdad. At the time he was just my mom's boyfriend or whatever. We would go over there because you'd get like 2 large pizzas for $20, and this was like a really expensive pizza place. So to get a coupon was like a big deal. And we would get 2 large pizzas, but then we wouldn't even hardly eat any of the pizzas because they also had a salad bar. Mm-hmm. And so we'd also pay for like a single trip to the salad bar. And my stepdad, he kind of taught me the art, because you only got one trip. You couldn't go back. I mean, you could try, but if you got caught, you'd probably get in trouble. But, he taught me the art of like, building a salad at a salad bar to just maximize value, build up, not out, So we would come back with these huge mountains on our plates. And so you'd fill up on salad bar and you'd only end up having a couple pieces of pizza or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a teenager, so I could probably have a little bit more, but I mean, it wasn't like pulling a Carl Zitterkoff or anything. So, I was just eating my whatever, and then we would just take all the pizza.
You put some Bacos on that?
On the salad?
Yeah.
Well, they actually had, I think, actual bacon bits.
Okay.
But
Bacos
yes,
are like so
of
gross
course.
Now that I look back on it.
And what's funny is like, I agree. I mean, I guess they taste good, but they're just so hard. They're like grape nuts that are bacon flavored.
But they don't even barely taste like bacon. They just taste like chemicals now.
Yeah, maybe. I just remember my grandfather he had like a sandwich press,
Oh yeah.
And he was just really into grilled cheese sandwiches. Like he would make himself these grilled cheese sandwiches. And
if you're going to be into
anything,
into sandwiches, like I could imagine being somebody who has a crazy amount of grilled cheese sandwich recipes that you just whip out.
Well, he didn't even have. He had his standard. Like he always used like dark rye bread. He was actually from German, right? So he would get that like it's not Black Forest is the ham. I forgot what the bread is called. It looks like chocolate cake, but it's bread and it's made out of rye flour. It doesn't matter.
Pumpernickel?
Maybe it was.
All right.
I don't think so though, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, he would get that. He would get the sharpest cheddar cheese he could find. Like the
what
extra
makes it sharp. I don't.
Chemicals,
That's something I've always wondered.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You would say I get the sharpest cheddar cheese.
I would try it. It's like I'm the same way. I want really sharp cheddar cheese. Is that what you're asking? What makes the? Are you? I thought you were asking like what is in the cheese?
What is? This is always something I've wondered. And if you're saying the sharpest cheddar cheese, like what is it about it that makes it sharp?
It has like this flavor in it. I don't know if it's like it's not acidic. I don't know what you would call it. It's just like. It's got this very strong flavor, but I don't know what. It's got some certain thing in there that like it's amplified.
Okay, so it feels sharp.
It just tastes more sharp.
Okay,
I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah.
But I mean, I think like mild cheddar cheese is just like a waste of milk, and like super sharp cheddar cheese. But anyway, my point is that he would get the bread, he'd put a bunch of cheddar cheese on there, and then he would get Bacos and sprinkle those in there with the cheese and then put it together and stick it in the sandwich press. That was better because the melted cheese would sort of soften up those Bacos a little bit and they wouldn't be all like something that was going to crack your teeth.
Exactly. I was going to say
it still would have been
like
better if you just put bacon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like keep
just,
some
put a little bit of time in there.
Keep some cooked bacon in the fridge, and just throw it on the I don't know. Anyway, just whenever I think of bacon bits or bacos, I just think of my grandfather with his delicious grilled cheese sandwiches.
Have you ever tried to recreate them?
I mean, I like making grilled cheese sandwiches. I don't own a sandwich press. I wouldn't really ever use it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, I've made grilled cheese sandwiches with, bacon bits in them before. But I don't eat a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches. It's pretty bad for you,
Yeah.
Like, I love them.
But that would be a cool thing to be known for.
Well, there's this, it's a state park. It's a national park. I think it's a state park. Not too terribly far from me. It's like north of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know this. I saw this on the Food Network like 15 years ago. There was one of these like, celebrity chef people or whatever. It was like they had this show called The Best Thing I Ever Ate. And it was just like they had different celebrity chefs saying the best thing they ever ate.
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy, I guess he lives in Marin County, so he's right there. And he said the best thing he ever ate was you go to Muir Woods and they have a little visitor center. And inside the visitor center is just this little tiny, if you want to call it a cafe, it's like one of those things where you get in line with a tray and you just order stuff or whatever and they give it to you. And he said, I go over there and you get a grilled cheese sandwich and a bowl of tomato soup. And he said, that's the best thing I've ever eaten, ever. And I was like, that's a bold statement. And so, my wife and I, we like to go hiking and whatnot. And so we went over there and, it's like homemade tomato soup with, it's like the bread for the sandwich comes from some local bakery. And then it's got like 3 different kinds of cheese that are all from like local cheese places. But it's like a very foo-foo grilled cheese sandwich. Like there's like brie cheese on there and a couple other cheeses. Right. But holy crap. Like I could never make anything anywhere close to that good. And so like for me, when you say that's something you could be known for, not around here because like Muir Woods has the market cornered on the greatest grilled cheese sandwich ever.
And I'm talking more like just in your family.
Oh, what do I got? Me and my wife. That's my family. And Ladybird over here sleeping on.
Well, what if your wife says, I think that you make the best grilled cheese
Well, she
sandwiches?
would probably say that just to be nice,
But what
Here's
if
the
she
best
actually
thing.
believed it?
Well, does it matter really? As long as I believe, whatever.
I believe.
So we did this one year for my birthday, but this is the other cool thing about Muir Woods is you go to Muir Woods, you can walk. There's a hiking trail that goes out to the beach. It's like, it's not far. Let's say it's a 30-minute walk to get out there. And like you go out there and there's this little inn called the Pelican Inn. And I think I mentioned that before where we went and stayed there one time and the guy was like, hey, you know who stayed in your room last night? And I was like, I don't know. And he said it was the lead singer of REO Speedwagon. And I was just like, all right, cool. Can I have my key? Anyway, it's like a 30-minute walk. And anyway, so I don't know if you walked in there, you would think like you were in like England. Like I think they imported all this lumber and like you go in there and like the place seems like it's 500 years old the way they built it, even though it's not. And it has this really cool little pub in it. And they have lots of cool, they get old speckled hen on tap and stuff like that. And they have really good fish and chips there. And like one year for my birthday, we went over there. We went to Muir Woods and we like split a soup and grilled cheese sandwich and then walked all the way over to Pelican Inn, got some fish and chips and some old speckled hen, and then walked back to Muir Woods and split another grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup. That was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I couldn't do that now. I can't eat that much anymore. But that might have been my greatest birthday ever, outside of being a kid getting like a He-Man battle cat, from somebody or something.
Yeah. The He-Man battle cat.
Yeah, I got that for my birthday one year. I think I was 6. I think that was my 6th birthday. Battle cat.
So you remember that as being one of your best birthdays, or maybe the best birthday?
What, battle cat or the Muir Woods?
Well, you said it was close between the two of them. I mean, I feel like
what?
I don't know. I think that the battle cat probably wouldn't come close now, but you try to put yourself in that position thinking about it.
I mean, okay, I think my best birthday ever has to have been actually 2019.
Oh.
Because we went to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh.
And that's on my, Monaco Grand Prix is always on Memorial Day weekend, right? Last weekend in May. And, my birthday is at the end of May. And so, it was not for my birthday. We just happened to go, and it was like my birthday weekend. And for me, it doesn't get any better than that. So,
yeah.
And it was free. That was the best part. Not the trip, but going to the race was free. Because that would have been the most expensive part of the trip if it hadn't been.
Yeah,
Formula One races are expensive. I don't know. That's it. That's all I
got. So do we want to say people are listening? Is this episode 33?
I want to say it's 33.
Episode 33. This is the
yeah, what do you got?
The mid-June 2023 episode. I guess.
That's horrible.
So I've been having to drive a little bit lately for different work events.
Yes, and thank you for every time you do sending me video of Under the Bridge playing on the radio.
Oh my gosh, like it is. Well, I feel as though every time it happens now, I've got to send it.
Oh no, and you should keep doing it.
You've opened the floodgates.
I find it hilarious, so please keep doing it. Yeah.
I mean, you did it. You sent the video first,
Probably.
And then
that sounds
right afterwards, I got in the car. And it was on, and that was like before I was pulling out of the driveway. I sent that to you, and then I went to Target to pick up something. And when I got back in the car, I switched the channel, and it's like the end of the song.
Yeah, well, at least it was the end.
Yes, but it's just funny because now I cannot not think about that every time I hear about it, and I will not be able to resist.
Yeah,
sending you a video of the song playing wherever I'm at now.
But that's good. I want a second set of eyes on this. I want to be not crazy. Like they are just playing only that song from them.
Yeah. Well, now that you have pointed it out to me, I'm beginning to like severely dislike the song.
Yeah. Play Californication. Play that. I love that song.
Yeah, but if you're hearing that multiple times a day.
No.
Maybe we just need to
I want that.
Back off on playing
the Chai Peps.
the Chai Peps like so frequently.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that maybe we need to miss them a little bit.
Yes. Okay, but anyway, you were saying that you're doing more driving.
I've been just driving. I'm going back to Akron like later on in the week.
To not go to the Diamond Deli again. I'm
going to go this time.
Well,
because now I'm going to get up there and I'm going to have a overnight, and I'm at like I'm staying there 2 nights.
So you could go like twice.
I could.
All right.
I have other
suggestions
places
too. So but that's the main one.
And if they have a shirt, I'm going to get you one. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And then you can wear it on here.
I would.
But it just gives me a lot of time to think about things for us to talk about.
Oh, that's great.
And so, just sometimes I'm trying to get into this habit of just hitting the the voice record on my phone, and then just on the running document.
You're pulling a John Tesh.
Yeah, because I don't know, like that's something with my ADHD is like I forget about a lot of things unless I write it down.
Buddy, I don't even have ADHD and I forget a lot of things, so.
Well, so when I was driving up to Columbus the other day, the one that I wrote down, and I thought it would be kind of a fun thing to talk about. I don't know if it'll go for if there's anything to it.
It doesn't. I got just so you know, I just want you to know you have a safety net underneath you. That's the only reason I'm saying this.
Okay.
I've got our email opened up on my iPad here.
Oh, sweet.
So if we need to, let's hit a couple of these, we can.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I think, I don't know if I talked about it to you or if I talked about it when Brady was on, but I really like making Blu-rays, and it's just kind of relaxing, just making sure it all works and, connecting all the dots and everything like that. And that got me wondering, because I like to organize files like computer files sometimes, sort them into different things. You know, I worked for years as an assistant editor, you know, just making everything as tidy as possible. And that got me wondering, here's my question for you.
All right.
What is your favorite mundane activity?
I mean,
is there anything that is like really boring, but you just like to do it?
Like, nobody ever has to ask me twice to do the dishes.
So you like doing the dishes, and you're...
Yeah. Yes. Like, if I go up there and there's dishes in the sink, I'm going to knock these out real quick. But I think I actually enjoy doing it.
Yeah. So that's...
I take pride in, like, if you...
So you don't have a dishwasher? Do you have a dishwasher?
No, I do. But some stuff goes in the dishwasher. Some stuff, depends on what it is. But that's what I was going to say. I take pride in, like, if you were to come over here and open my dishwasher, like, I've got everything lined up and, like, to maximize cleaning efficiency. Like,
right.
Nothing against it's. To me, it's kind of ironic because I think for the most part, I would say that my wife is the more organized one between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And like more of she's not a neat freak. I don't want to say that, but she cares more about, tidiness than I do.
Right.
But when she loads the dishwasher, she's just like throwing stuff in there. And so, like, if she does the dishes, I'll open the dishwasher. I'm like, oh my God, I take everything out and put it back in, line it up correctly.
Redo it.
Yeah. Which is part of the reason I'm like, no, just let me do it. But I actually enjoy doing the dishes for some reason. Like, I love doing that. And then, like, you clean the sink, get some soap on the sponge and, like, scrub the sink out, which most people don't do often enough. You should do that. And, then get the counters wiped down. You walk away from that. You're like, man, that looks good.
Yeah.
That's
and you enjoy
mundane,
doing it.
Yeah.
It just, like, I like mowing the lawn.
I do. We don't have a lawn anymore. I miss that.
Yeah, I'm going to go mow the lawn probably after we're done recording today.
I would mow if I don't have a mower anymore, but I would mow somebody else's lawn for free just to be able to mow a lawn. I miss like just the smell of like unburned gasoline mixed with like engine exhaust mixed with cut grass.
Mm-hmm. I miss that smell. I mean, I just smell the cut grass because now that I have an electric lawnmower.
Oh, that's much better.
Yes, it is better, but I do miss that smell. But I do like to just go out there and just zone out, maybe listen to some music, listen to podcasts. I think I probably have talked about this on here before, but that's when I was in high school. That is how I made all my money before I was old enough to have a real job.
Yeah,
is that I just mowed lawns for my grandparents and like for other people. And that's
did you have
how
like
I bought.
Did you have like a customer list or whatever? Like, did you go mow the same lawns like every week around your neighborhood? Or
I mean, for family, I did, but
yeah.
Other stuff, it was just if somebody asked me to do it.
Yeah.
But that's how I, bought. That's how I bought like all my video games. I guess when I was a teenager, before I could get a real job. I would go to. That's how I bought like my Final Fantasy 3 and my Chrono Trigger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love doing it. Even now, I love doing it, and I wonder if one day if I'll like. Will be able to like show my kids if I get my kids to do it, but I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
But I want them to have something. Maybe they would enjoy it as much as I did someday. By not letting them do it, I'm just setting them up to hate it eventually.
Maybe.
But a lot, I was going through my closet here and I had a whole bunch of stuff in there and I was throwing out, just like old things that have just kind of built up, like, and then I find a whole bunch of things to donate and everything. And I love like cleaning all that stuff up and just getting it real neat and organized. But even, I was talking about, like organizing files and stuff like that. I do enjoy data entry stuff a lot. Like one of the things I've been doing for work is, we're kind of like in this crunch for these series of events. That's what I've been traveling around for. But I have to create these winter graphics where it's like these people's names and the school they go to, and then put a photo in there.
Yeah.
And it's all these names are split out on a spreadsheet, and I'm just like copy, like from the cell, and then paste it into like the name area on the in After Effects. And it's just. We had a list of like 16 shows or something like that. And in previous years, we have, had to split it out among like different people on my team to do it. But each year I've become more and more efficient in just how I can make it easier, I guess, just make the entire process easier. And this year I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to do them all.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
So it's just, it's you feel productive without like being productive, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I'd say that's being pretty productive.
It is being productive, but there's probably a lot more stuff I could be doing to be more productive.
Yeah.
But I love just to, copy and paste things from a browser window into After Effects and do it, 70 times a day.
Yeah.
And then export all those files. I don't know. It's just, I wonder what it is about doing like mundane activities like that.
I mean, sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to zone out,
Yeah. Yeah. Or multitask. You do that and then you can like listen to something.
Yes.
Or you can, I have like a TV right here. I just put something on Netflix.
Yeah.
I can kind of, turn to it and absorb it.
Yeah. Hey, would you like to come over to my house and do some file sorting? I can. I'll make you as many grilled cheese sandwiches as you want.
I mean, sure. It is. It's a good feeling when it's all done.
Oh man, it's gotten like, I don't have like the fancy NAS like you do, but I have like an external like RAID drive thing where like everything for my show is on there. Like all
right.
Video game footage and box art and just everything I've ever, once I started finally saving all that stuff. But there's a folder on there because you go in there, it's like a folder called like CGQ video material, and you go in there and there's like a gameplay footage folder and like,
right.
Pictures of people folder and box art folder, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then there's a folder that's just called unsorted.
Oh, you're going to make fun of, I thought you were going to say, because I have that unsorted folder too.
Oh,
on my NAS, I have that.
Yeah, and thank you for putting me in unsorted, I believe. I appreciate it, although I am pretty unsorted. But no, it's just like I didn't used to be in the, having no like formal training of any kind, including like not ever working, in like a place where video is edited. I have to learn everything myself.
Yeah.
And, I was in the habit of, I would just have a folder. Like if I'm working on, the launch of the Sega Pico, which I'm not ever going to do, but I would just have a folder for that, and everything would go in that folder. And then while I was editing, it's like, okay, pull this out of the folder, pull out of the folder, put it in the timeline, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, the video's done. And then like, I would just take that whole folder and just drag it over into unsorted and then never sort it. And like, so now I've gotten in the habit of like, no, like put the file where it's supposed to be and then import it into but I had to figure that out. I'm not that smart. I don't know. People haven't picked up on that yet. Cause then that way, when I'm done with a video, you can just export an XML file. And if you ever want to edit the video again, all the files are already where they're supposed to be. And you just load the XML file and you're off to the races. I had to figure that out. So, but I still have this huge folder called unsorted with like the launch of the Master System, the launch of the Genesis, the launch of the N64. I forgot what else just in there. And sometimes when I'm like, don't want to do anything or I need to edit and I'm trying to procrastinate, I'll open up that folder and just start like dragging stuff out of there, like giving it a better name or whatever to be more descriptive and then putting it where it belongs. But it's so much stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely something you learn over time. I mean, when you look at that stuff that's on my NAS, though, that's not in the unsorted folder, it's kind of, it's extremely well organized, I think.
Well, I mean, I try not to like nose around in your NAS too much.
Oh,
That
I mean, you
seems
should
rude.
not sticking your nose in my NAS.
Yeah. It's like funny. That doesn't mean anything, but it certainly sounds dirty.
Right. But you should go through and just look at some of the the gameplay footage and stuff that I have in the B-roll and everything, because you're welcome to use any of that stuff that you want.
Yeah.
If you needed it.
Thank you.
But all that stuff is like sorted out from like console to like in variation of the console and video
Yeah.
signal.
Yes.
And I use a program called Advanced Renamer that you can build file names based on, like, say, folder structure.
Yeah.
So if I put things in a certain folder and I name that folder and I just drop all these files in there, which just like have this very generic name for them, and then I just run them through Advanced Renamer, and it batch renames everything that I need it to.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I highly recommend Advanced Renamer.
All right. Hey, Advanced Renamer, if you're ever looking for a podcast to sponsor, keep us in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk for at least
Right.
3 minutes about it straight.
Hey, I saw a pencil sharpener yesterday that was $120.
Imagine having to sharpen pencils that badly.
Well, here's the funny part, though, because I'm really into pencils and pencil sharpeners, and first of all, I've seen a pencil sharpener that was like far more expensive than that. But I was still
shocked.
That's
for people whose jobs are probably sharpening pencils.
No, I don't think so. Because if you think about, like, I'll compare it to like audio stuff, right? Like, I can go to some like high-end audio store and, I can buy a pair of interconnects because, you don't call RCA cables if you pay over $20 for them. They become interconnects so that it sounds, better. You can go like AudioQuest. You can easily spend over $1,000 on a set of RCA interconnects, right? But it's not like the studio where that music that you want to listen to was produced was using those cables,
Right.
They're using like pro cables, which you can get far cheaper than AudioQuest, 'cause that's what I use, like, around the house. I use like the types of cables that you would see in a studio, which really aren't that expensive. And they're the kind of things, if they break, you can fix them yourself because you can undo the. So my point is just like, if you had like some like architecture studio or something where they're using a lot of pencils, they're not going to have some like $500 pencil sharpener. They're going to have like a professional pencil sharpener, which is probably going to be quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But no, but the funny part though, so I have like, this is my pencil sharpener. By the way, hey, Mitsubishi, if you ever want to sponsor. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You were.
But like, this is the greatest pencil sharpener ever in the history of the universe. This is a Mitsubishi KH20. Right? What's that?
And you said it's weighted or something like that, right?
No, it's not weighted. I don't know what you're talking about. But it's but this pencil sharpener was $20 on Amazon. It's cheap. And this is the best pencil sharpener ever. And so, but the pencil sharpener I saw yesterday that was $120 works on the same principle. Like, it's a crank, but you don't have to screw it to anything because it holds the pencil for you, same as this one does.
Okay.
And I didn't see the price. I just saw it and I recognized the brand. I was like, oh, that's pretty fancy. And so I took a pencil that they had there and stuck it in there and sharpened it. And it was pretty bad.
Not worth the $120.
No, I'm saying just the point, not just the point on it, the way it chewed up the end of the pencil. Like, and you could buy 6 of these Mitsubishi KH20. You
could almost have them in every single room of the house.
Exactly. So
you can even put some in the bathroom.
Very reminiscent of audiophile products.
Yeah. Who even knew that there's, that pencil sharpeners have a whole like snake oil subset to them as well.
I blocked AudioQuest on Twitter a long time ago. I don't know if I ever told you that.
just because?
No, because I said something like somebody was asking me something about audio cables or something.
Yeah.
And somehow AudioQuest saw what I had said and tried to argue with me.
And you're like, prove it.
No, I just blocked him. It was like, oh, we don't. I said like it's BS.
Actually,
like they're scamming people. It's BS. Like that's like if I was AudioQuest and I saw that, I just wouldn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Just lay low and just do what you're doing because you're getting rich, taking advantage of other rich people. Be happy.
Yeah.
Don't try to, get all up in my whatever and try to argue, oh, that's not true. Because, yeah, exactly. Prove it. Let me see some data. Show me how your $4,000 speaker cables are better than a coat hanger. You can't, because there's no difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's today's society. You know, like everyone feels, you know, the console wars of like when we were growing up is like literally everything now. You need to go to bat. If you bought something, you got to go to bat for it, and like nothing else, like no one's going to be able to convince you otherwise, or you just can't like be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, imagine just like getting so worked up. It's like, I spent this money on these AudioQuest cables. I need to justify the money spent, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to put a search, an automatic search that will send me a notification anytime anybody mentions the word AudioQuest. Right. And I need to be, wherever I'm at, I could be out to dinner with my family. I could be on a first date. Yeah. And I'm going to drop everything.
Hold on a minute. Somebody's wrong on the internet.
Yes. You know, it's not even wrong. It's just, listen, someone has, you know, is saying something bad about something I like.
Yes.
Or some decision I've made at some point in my life. Somebody is saying something bad about something I spent way too much money on at some point in my life.
Somebody is besmirching my turntable stylus cleaning method.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and just saying they think this turntable stylus is better.
How can you even call yourself an appreciator of music if you don't even have a power conditioner in your house?
Yes, exactly. I mean, how many like little things can you think of like that?
Yeah.
You know.
AudioQuest. Did I bring this up before? AudioQuest sells these little things. They're cable elevators. So that your speaker cables going from the speakers to your amp, you put these things under the cable so that the cable is not touching the ground.
Mm.
Because you get some sort of coupling effect, they called it. If the cable's touching the ground, this coupling happens, and you don't want that.
Man.
So yeah.
I'm sure that I'm going to get thrown into audio jail then. You should see the back of my my entertainment center.
Yeah.
I mean, I use like couplers if I don't have a long enough cable for it.
Absolutely.
You know, and those are touching the ground. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Like the travesty.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Maybe you'd appreciate Limp Bizkit a little bit more if you listened to it on a proper stereo.
Or if I just like, that. You know what? Maybe I would hear something that exists in the music in Fred Durst's, like the nuances of his voice, if I just like had those audio cable elevators on all of my
I just wish cables. Like if I could have any wish come true, I wish that like Fred Durst would like do a cover, like an acoustic cover of Under the Bridge.
I wonder how that would go.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? Email? Want to do an email?
Yeah. Well, do we want to hear like?
I'm sorry. What? You got something?
This is just something I was like, man, I gotta come up with like a does it slap or should we eat it?
Oh, I see. I didn't even know whose turn it was, and I didn't want to bring it up because I got nothing. If you got something, then by all means.
Let me make sure this is going to send through to you.
It doesn't.
Here we go. Is that going? Oh, where is it? Hang on. What is going on here?
Clown show.
There it is.
Here's my question for you. You've got to keep one and need two. Pick one that slaps, the other two that drop. That's my question for you.
Can I just say I appreciate how pronounced the bass is?
So
much music you can't even hear the bass because it's mixed down so far, and that's just that bass is front and center, and I appreciate that.
You know, whenever I sing that song and I'm by myself, I sing it out loud to myself.
Yeah,
I always go boom, boom, boom.
You have to. Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. I always do that.
I think Rick Beato said that you're not supposed to ever have the bass line follow the vocal melody. But
well, I mean,
I think that
makes that whole version of that song like that's what is my favorite part is the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Rick Beato's kind of an a-hole, I think, so it's okay.
So like you're gonna think I'm an a-hole for this question because it is like I was just like thinking about it. I was like, man, I gotta come up with one today, and this is like
you're gonna make me choose between my car, my cat, and my wife. That's an a-hole question.
No, this is pretty. This is gonna be up there though.
Oh, all right. Well, let's go.
It is like the most general thing.
Oh, all right.
But it is, okay, you gotta eat two and you gotta keep one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say them real quick.
Okay.
Pizza, burgers, or beer?
I gotta keep pizza, I think, out of those three.
Okay, that was a lot quicker than I thought it would go because
you
like
happen to catch
those...
me. You happen to catch me at a time, where I'm really trying to like not drink.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I ever thought I had a drinking.
You should switch over to drinking high noons like me.
I just like I don't know. Anytime I think about like cold beer, like it always sounds good, but
yeah,
it's just I don't know. I'm not going to go down a whole rabbit hole with that. I just like ever since I got COVID, because that was an easy way. Like I couldn't drink for a couple weeks, and I think since then I've had like one beer.
Do you feel like have you dropped any weight because of it?
I doubt it. I didn't drink that much to begin with. It's just more like, I don't know. I have so much stuff to do. I can't come home and have a beer because then I'm not going to do any of the stuff that I want to do. Not like I have to. Like nobody put a gun to my head and told me to have a YouTube show. I want to have a YouTube show. But if I come home and say, okay, I got some writing I got to do. I want to record some gameplay footage. Somebody hand me a beer. It's not going to happen.
Do it while you're doing that stuff. Yeah, I mean...
And between burgers and pizza, listen, man, I love burgers. But pizza, dude, like that's, pizza is part of like the holy, like if there's a holy trinity of food, right? I mean,
both
pizza, ice cream, and then I don't know, pick a third one. But what'd you just say?
Maybe burgers would be the third one, though.
I don't know. I love burgers, but not like I love pizza.
For the record, I agree with you. I agree with you on this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just kind of like it's such a general, stupid question, honestly, that I was like, that's the kind of question you'll get when I'm put like 15 seconds into of thought.
That's fine. I wasn't even going to bring up does it slap or should we eat it because, like I said, I didn't have anything to go. Here, here's my question for you.
All right.
This is hyper specific, but not really. You can extrapolate this out to other things because I have this sitting on my desk. Right? This thing. Right? This is like, so for anybody listening, we got these little inline microphone preamps, for our microphones, and they come in these little baggies, with a drawstring on it. And I feel like so many things you buy nowadays come with something like this.
Like retro tanks come
unnecessarily. Well, come on. Let's not.
They come in like I'm just saying like
Mike
everything
Chi doesn't
comes
need to be out here catching strays. He's
no. I like that. They all like. I love the fact that retro tanks come in little burlap bags.
Yeah, burlap. Yeah. But you end up with a ton of them, and it's just like what am I going to do with all this stuff? I don't.
But you can't throw them out.
Oh,
either.
You can. But that's what I'm bringing up is what do you do with stuff like this? I don't want to just throw it in the landfill. So I'll give it to a thrift store. Maybe someone's going to be like, oh, I was looking for a little baggie just this size. But it's like, why? Like, especially with this, why? Like, that preamp is never not going to be plugged in. Where am I? Say, okay, I got to go over to do, like, do you think, like, if someone's working some kind of, like, on-site production, or what you call that, we're going to go on the scene. Or
they're, like, pulling it out,
Yeah, you think, like, okay, we got to pack up for the day. Hand me the Fed head. I got to make sure I get it back into the little baggie so nothing happens to it. If it's like a lavalier mic where it's very delicate, then put that in something.
Yeah.
But like this thing, like what is this?
Dude, I have a big bag like that has all the little bags in it, and it's like in a thing like next to all of the like carrying cases and stuff for like different consoles that I might have. Like if when I used to like go on the subway every day, like I had like cases, or I would travel more with something, now it's just, I just need the Switch one or something like that. But I have so many different like little things like that.
Yeah.
That they're all just like in a big.
Yeah. That's what I don't want, like I bought like all the lights I buy for my show. They all come with these, which to me, it's like, you could say, well, that makes sense, but does it? Because if somebody was like, okay, I need to buy like a half dozen little LED lights for doing, whatever.
If you're going to take those, if you're going to be taking those places, you just get.
But if you were going to take
single
all
Pelican,
yes, exactly.
You're not going to have what we do. Yeah.
Yes. So please, companies out there, stop sending me little. Not everything has to come in a case. It's too much.
Yeah. Although like you
the
say
things
that,
I want to come in a case don't come in a case.
Like
if I buy a
lights.
handheld gaming system, that should come in a case. If I buy a camera, it would make more sense for that to come with a case. I still wouldn't really want it, but it would make sense.
I put that in my padded backpack that has specifically for that, and it has little compartments for lenses and all that other stuff.
Yes.
But I have these aperture lights, right? And they came in like a thing with like a handle on it, and you unzip it, and there's like kind of a storage area in there.
You're talking about like your big lights, like for when you're doing like interviews and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, it's like these ones. I got like another set, like smaller ones, but they come in like a little thing. But what I did is, so these things have like a little handle on it and like many different compartments. And what I did is I created a little portable like power station. It has like a backup battery in it, and I have like USB cables, power cables, and I just like have this one thing. It's like, okay, if I'm going to someplace, I'm just going to grab this thing. It has everything I need in it, and I'll just throw it in there. And I don't even need to be taking the lights. I just use that bag for that stuff. And it's kind of nice to have that, but
that makes good sense.
I don't need 6 of those things.
Exactly. Because like I bought, those little, I bought those aperture lights that are like long and skinny ones, like the little, I bought 2 or 3 of those, and they each come with this like pretty big case.
Right.
I'm like, I think I ended up just donating them all to Goodwill, the cases. Because for the reason you just said, like if somebody was going to go do like, on-site, shooting or whatever, they're going to have all that stuff in a Pelican. They're not going to have all these little...
Yeah, I mean, that's what, when we were traveling a bunch, we just have we just got a Pelican, and I put my lights in it, and it has this foam, this like all cut into these little like squares you can like pull out, so you can make it exactly the size that you want it to.
Yes.
The problem is if things change over time...
You can't put them back.
You get new ones. You can't put them back in. But I wonder, you can probably buy like new like the inserts, and start over. Which I kind of wish I could do. Maybe I should see if Pelican sells like something like that. But
I have to think that they would sell that.
But I wonder how expensive that would be, because it's big enough for it to be obnoxious to ship.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. You should look into it.
Yeah. All right, let's hit some of those emails. I feel like we haven't looked into emails in
we have
3 months.
Kind of a lot. Not a huge amount. All right. So this one's from April 1st. So, hey, maybe it'll be April Fool's kind of thing. This is from Mark. Well, this is...
All right.
This is very long. Not very long, but it's long. But I'm going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
So, hopefully it's good.
Is this pre-screened?
No, I don't. That's cheating. Okay. Do you want me to pre-screen
it?
If you can
not.
entertain people for 1 minute, I can read the whole thing. But no, this is going to be cool. Okay, so this is from Mark. He says, "Hi, Chris and Corey. As the saying goes, long-time listener, first-time caller. I really appreciate the podcast and the work you put into producing it. Trust me, Mark, there's not really any work. My question comes from an appreciation of nostalgia and compelling stories, which is one reason why I love the CGQ flashback series so much. Thank you. When I was 10, the Summer Consumer Electronics Show, aka CES in Chicago, was open to the public for the first time. My dad took me that year, and again a year later. That's cool. And it was a dream come true for a young fan of video games. Booths set up for every game company imaginable, featuring some yet to be released games that would fill the preview pages in EGM and Nintendo Power for months to come. It didn't hurt that we left carrying bags overfilled with free magazines, mementos, and other swag. For me, this was one of my most memorable experiences as a young kid. My question for you both is, what seminal event did you attend or would you have loved to attend in your youth that would compare? It doesn't need to be related to video games. It could be a concert, festival, sporting event, or whatever. Anyway, thanks again and keep up the good work.
Thank you. So
yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that because I wonder if we were at the same CES, because I went to the Consumer Electronics Show in 1993.
Oh, wow.
The Summer Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. And it was like during that summer where I believe the Bulls were playing against the Suns in the finals. And it was awesome. I remember specifically because I was in 8th grade. It was the end of my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
And it was like a week before Jurassic Park came out in theaters, which just, so that was like essentially 30 years ago, because Jurassic Park just had its 30-year anniversary. So it was 30 years ago that I went to CES. So I wonder if when you're talking about it being open to the public and going to that, I wonder if you were at the same one as I was.
Yeah.
It's very possible. Maybe we passed by each other at some point. And it was indeed completely awesome. I remember playing like a bunch of stuff. I remember...
What year did you said you went in 93?
93, yeah.
Because he mentions he has PS down here. Is there any worse choice for a celebrity guest at an early 90s show in Chicago, home of Michael Jordan's Bulls, than having Detroit Pistons bad boy Bill Laimbeer make an appearance to promote combat basketball for the Super Nintendo? That came out. Bill Laimbeer's combat basketball was a 91 game, I believe.
Okay.
So that would suggest to me
but he also said he went like 2 years in a row or something like that.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that would have been probably the summer CES in 1991.
Yeah, and then probably went in 92.
So yeah, so he might have gone again in 92, 93, who knows? But
well, if Mark, if you're watching this on YouTube, like put a message in the comments, because I still have some of my mementos that I got during that CES. I have my Street Fighter 2 Pogs that I got. I have one for like almost every single character. There was like a lot of other stuff. I remember that year there was like all the people from like Mortal Kombat were there. Obviously they were there. Like I didn't realize that it was like such like like an obvious thing for them to be there and sign like a photo like from all of them, I specifically, like one of the things I specifically remember is the people, like the editors from Electronic Gaming Monthly, like hot off the press brought in their new issue, like these big boxes of like this new issue and started like giving them to everybody.
Do you remember what issue it was?
Yep. It was the one with Jungle Strike on the cover, and it has like kind of a split in the cover. But it's just funny thinking about that now, because now I've like talked to a lot of these people and like interviewed a lot of these people. And but at that time it was, holy cow, like there's the editors of EGM and they're handing out all this stuff. I remember, that was when the Menacer and the Activator for the Genesis were there. Yeah. I mean, I remember so much. I remember there's a movie prop of a Goomba from the Mario movie was there. And I think that somebody has put a video of this specific CES like in really good quality on YouTube.
Oh, I wonder if it was that there's a guy on YouTube called, I think, Digital Neo Human, who went to a lot of those shows in the early 90s with some kind of like a high 8 camcorder or something.
Yeah, because it's
and
really
he ended
good
up ripping
quality.
all that stuff and putting it online. Because I remember I used some of his footage. Like I contacted him and he said it was cool.
Yeah,
I used some of his footage in one of my videos, but I ended up downloading like all of it because really good quality. You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
Most any footage you see of something like that is like news footage where it's all like, cut. It's already like, cut up into a million little pieces, so you can't really get anything out of it. And it's something that someone recorded off of TV onto a VCR and then ripped that.
Yeah.
But, with this guy, it's like you're getting the raw footage out of his camcorder, and it's much better quality.
Yeah, and it's probably he's recording at the highest quality possible also.
Yeah, yeah.
But in terms of like in addition, I had a chance to go to E3 in 2001. I was like part of this.
Wow, look at that.
I did video for a website called The Next Level.
Yeah.
The-nextlevel.com. And I was like, that's kind of where I was learning. I decided I wanted to get into video editing. And this was kind of a thing that I started doing as a way to, expand my knowledge also and just give me something to like work with. I have a lot of that stuff still like backed up, although I've like lost a lot of my old footage from that, where I would like export these videos at like 120 by 160 because there's no YouTube or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we would post them on this site where people would have to download these QuickTime movies. And, even something like that small is going to be like 10 megs. And that's big in 2001.
I mean, yeah, if you're on dial-up, 10 megs takes a little bit of time, yeah.
Like a whole evening, probably.
Well,
so I went to that.
I don't know about that, but...
And, that was amazing. That was the only time I went. But that was before the Xbox and GameCube came out, and the PS2 was pretty new.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
That's awesome.
Time. What about you?
I mean, I got nothing that compares to either of those two things, unfortunately. I mean, this is going to sound so lame compared to what you just said, but I never got to go to any of that kind of. I mean, I'm not sure I even knew that was a thing. Like E3 or CES. Because I didn't read video game magazines when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I was missing out on. Like I got to go to, because of my mom's job. I got to go to like a food expo where it was like, suppliers for like restaurants and snack bars and stuff were in this huge convention center, and everyone was like giving out. It's like E3, but for like, junk food. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
E3 for junk food. I mean,
that was the first time I ever saw a Choco Taco.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I still remember that to this day. I got a Choco Taco.
Dude, how many people you think are going to that thing that are just like so like baked out of their mind? Like,
I didn't even think about that, but that would be awesome.
Uh-oh, hang on.
What? Dog's here? All right. What is it? Nelly appearance. Oh my goodness.
I think she's been napping. She's like, "Are you going to take me for a walk?"
Yeah, you better pretty soon.
I'm gonna after we're done recording.
Yeah.
It's the old Bean. Come and say hi.
Yeah. Oh, is that nickname, the Bean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, her name is Nelly.
Yes.
Which is like,
I just said that. Nelly.
Yes. So, Nelly, Jelly Bean.
Yeah.
So I just call her Bean a lot.
Yeah. No, I do the same thing. The other day I started writing down all Ladybird's nicknames. It was pretty long.
Sometimes I will sing loudly to the tune of Warrant's Cherry Pie. I say,
"Oh God,
she's my baby bean."
Yeah, and then what's the next line to
there's
rhyme
no
with
other.
bean?
There's no other.
Oh, come on,
line.
man! You got to work on that.
I got to work on it.
Yeah.
But I like just to say, like, I call her my baby bean a lot.
Yeah. All right, one more.
All right.
This is from it's from Matt. And
right.
He says, "Happy Easter." Says, kind of a little bit. I'm at the lake with my family. I'm taking a break by listening to your show while laying in a hammock. That sounds amazing.
Yes, I laid in a hammock last weekend and fell asleep for 15 minutes.
I wouldn't mind. I'd like to have a hammock. That'd be nice.
Do you have a place for it? You have two trees you can put it between, or at least one tree you could connect it to.
I could figure something out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
does Patagonia have hammocks? I wonder.
Oh, this is almost like a Does It Slap or Should We Eat It? Kind of.
Oh, okay.
It's not, but it's. I mean, you could form it that way. All right. Here's my question for you: if you had to pick one to spend the rest of your nights in, what would you choose? You can have a hammock, a futon or a waterbed? See, that to me is interesting because, like, I mean, hammocks are timeless, right? Everybody still uses hammocks. I feel like, and maybe this is just my own personal, my life or whatever, but I feel like futons to me, I can't remember the last time I even saw a futon. Whereas when I was growing up, I felt like, people had futons. I got a couch that you fold that into a futon. Or like my best friend, his bed, for whatever reason, was a futon. Down in his room, in his room in the basement.
Like that's like a college, like futon. I think of like being in college or like immediately out of college.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I still think we used to have a futon couch. We don't anymore, but I mean, I have good memories. Like that thing was pretty comfortable. Mm-hmm. And then everything I just said, but like 10 times more so with water beds. Like, do they even still make water beds?
I don't know. I
like
can't even think of the last time my dad had a water bed.
Yeah.
And I had some friends who like had water beds, but I never actually slept in a water bed. I don't even know
I've slept
if I'd like it. It sounds like it'd be
different.
Now I think about it, think it sounds like it would be really bad for your back.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, my dad and my stepmom had a water bed. My best friend Stuart had a water bed, but they had like the water bed where it was literally like, a wooden box with like a gigantic inflatable bladder in it full of water.
Yeah. I think that's
like
what
a
most
heater
of them
underneath it. Yeah. But then like my stepdad had a water bed. I don't think he does anymore. He had a water bed, but like around the outside, like if you sat on it, it just felt like a bed, really. But then if you actually got in it, it's like there was water in there, but it was a little bit more than just like, oh, I'm sleeping on a rubber bladder full of water.
It's like one of those things you fill it with water when you're like have a fever or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. So Matt's asking like if you have to sleep on/in one of these things for the rest of your life. I'm going futon.
Yeah.
But I'm not excited about it. But I can't say much love for hammocks. I'm not going to sleep in a hammock every night for the rest of my life.
That'd be bad for your back too.
And water beds, I just don't, water beds to me, it's like, that just screams like 80s,
Yeah.
Like
or
water
90s.
beds were a fad, but I mean, futons, how can a million Chinese or Japanese people, be wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. Are futons really that popular in Japan? I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
That's how they were sold here, is like, oh, is what Japanese, and like we used to have a futon store here, but it was like you go in there, it was like, run by, Japanese people. They sold other Japanese items, mostly futons though. So I guess in my mind, that's just like everybody in Japan sleeps on futon.
Yeah. I mean, I just think of the other two options and think eventually one of those other options are going to mess up your back, or they're going to like not be very comfortable every night.
Yeah.
Or there's like a lot of high maintenance annoyances with it.
Yeah.
So I'll go futon also.
Yeah. Good. Glad we're on the same page with that. So, so you're going to take Nellie for a walk.
I'm going to take Nellie for a walk, and then I'm going to come back and work on, I'll see how quickly I can get a My Life in Gaming video done.
Do you want to say what it's about, or is that like people got to wait till it comes out?
I mean, no, I'm not gonna say what it's about. It's
okay,
like it's just like something that I was sent that I want to
all right.
do like
that's fine.
a quick video on, and I've been saying that for a while. But like I said, I've been traveling and I've had some crunch time and stuff with work that when you're busy crunching on stuff, the last thing you want to do is look at it specifically at a computer screen. I don't mind looking at Zelda. But I mean,
I got to get back into making the weekend rental videos. COVID messed that up, but I also.
But it seems like you're doing pretty good though now. Like you
notice I didn't cough once.
Oh, okay, so
I used the cough button a few times, but that was just throat clears.
Yeah,
I think the coughing is. I feel like I'm completely fine. Like I think
Excellent.
It's gone.
And your wife's doing better too.
Yes, we're both
Excellent.
fine. Yeah. So. But I do want to get back in the groove with those weekend rental videos, but I also want to get some work done on the baseball game. Like the thing is, like that was supposed to just be, like that golf game video that I made. It's just going to be super casual. Like, hey, let's check out some baseball games in the Famicom. And now it's turning into this whole it's going to be like fully scripted on the main channel kind of, because just the more I've thought about it in my head and the stuff I wanted to say, I think this is actually a more important topic than I originally sort of thought, you know.
And you know, it always happens also where you're thinking about doing the video, and you always come up with like lots of other thoughts on these things instead of just saying, "Oh, I want to just make this really quick." When you have all this time to think about it,
yeah,
you know, you get more into it.
Well, I mean, I just think, you know, golf games on the PC Engine is a very sort of not a throwaway topic, but, you know, I don't think anybody really has a vested interest in PC Engine golf games. You know, I think it was just an interesting thing, like, let's check this stuff out. But
yeah,
I think that, you know, baseball games on the NES, which were all baseball games on the Famicom first, you know, was a big part of a lot of people's childhoods. And it's something that doesn't, you know, because it's sports games, something that doesn't really get talked about. So.
Well, I look forward to it. Yeah. I'll definitely learn something from it.
I hope so. All right. So is that it?
Yeah. You've been listening to episode 33.
I was just going to say that.
Here's my question for you.
Yeah. What did I say last time? The Chris Draper episode.
Yeah. 33. Also, is there like any, is Chris Draper, was he I don't know who that is.
He was a center for the Detroit Red Wings, but, you know, he was the entire reason, not because of anything he did, but, you know, he was the entire reason for the huge rivalry between the Red Wings and the Avalanche, and very good face-off man, you know.
Oh, right.
Like if you need, we need this face-off, send Chris Draper in there. So that's just when I think of number 33. I think 33, somebody out there correct me if I'm wrong, I think 33 was also Patrick Waugh's number, but I wouldn't swear to that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Goalie for the Avalanche.
All right.
Although first for the Montreal Canadiens, one of the greatest goalies of all time. Not personally a fan of his, but you know, credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's it for this episode.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.